Here we are at Nakuwadde, the name of the village. And the farm here, it is called Chagwe Poultry Hatcheries. Here we do variety of activities. As you see here, this is where we receive eggs from the farmers. Let me remind you, I'm called Isa Luigare, a deserted medical clinic officer who is a veterinary officer. Is to share the knowledge, the information, the skill, and the technical advice to whoever is viewing in terms of fighting poverty and creating jobs. This is why we are here in the poultry industry or farm. Once we talk of fighting poverty through poultry industry or project, we have 7 types of chicken breeds or poultry breeds. We have the locals, we have the commercial layers, we have the broilers, we have the croilers. Some people mistake broilers and croilers. We have the rainbow, we have the Sasso and the Sussex. And here at our hatchery farm, we hatch every type of breed of poultry. I have the manager who is managing here. And for me as Isa, I'm a veterinary officer by profession. Above all, part of here. This table you are seeing here, it is where we receive eggs from the farmers, is to make sure that you at least have something to do in terms of fighting poverty and making the increase on your income. But today we are focusing on poultry. Where do we start? For the chicks, you always buy either in the market or in the veterinary shops as they want. People always ask, why is it that these eggs brought to the incubator are marked? The answer is, as the promoters and those who are engaged in fighting poverty, I have been telling the community that fighting poverty is between me and you. And once you go into poultry, you should have a vision and a broad objective. Which breed should you go into? And always, as me, Isa, and my team, I always encourage in 2 breeds. Why 2? These 2 breeds, you buy once, you rear them, they start laying eggs, and they become parent stock. And which are these breeds? Local and broilers. Why? The lifespan of local is 5 years to 15 years in production. And the lifespan of broilers is 3 years to 7 years in production. This is not biblical, neither from Quran. But people don't compare. If I told I'm to be going into poultry industry, which breed should I go into? The hard fact is, we breed all and we hatch all. But as Ugandans, is to give you an alternative. If you were to go into poultry, choose 2. Local breed or broiler breed. You can start with only 5 chicken. Of these 5, 4 are hens and 1 cock. In a period of 1 year, you should be having over 7,000 chicks from 5. And you are just thinking, is it true? The hard fact is yes. If you start with only 4 hens with 1 cock, in a period of 1 year, you should be having over 7,000 chicks. We shall be transforming the lives of the community. I'm now 53 years. What I'm speaking, it is through experience. I have never ever seen the KCC vehicles taking local chicken to Kasasiro, neither eggs to Kasasiro, meaning that there is a standby market for these eggs. 2, there is a standby market for 1-day-old chicks. 3, there is a standby market for chicken meat. Fellow Ugandans, whoever is viewing this program, had it not to be very mean, the producer or the one who invited me would have been rewarded something. By the end of this program, I would request you to start with what you can afford, such that as we go on, we can expand. You start with only 4 hens, 1 cock. Over 4 months, in a period of 1 year, you will be having over 7,000. We calculate that today. Now, if they are 4, in a month, they can lay 80 eggs. And of the 80 eggs, bring them here. We hatch them for you. From the 80, I expect to hatch 60 1-day-old chicks. Let's brood them, rear them. If we are good players and we have 40 1-day-old chicken hens, at 4.5 months, they start laying. And when they start laying, 40 times 20 eggs per month, we shall be having 800 eggs. From 4 to 40 hens. At 5 months, so far we have 800 eggs. Bring them here for hatching. From 800, we expect at least to hatch 600, 5 months. We rear them to 4.5 months. 6 months plus 5, those 11 months. And the 400 from the 800 times 20, we shall be having 80,000 eggs at 11 months. So please, when we talk of fighting poverty, when UBC Farm Matters is there, you don't need to lament and complain over the government as it has not done what it's supposed to do. It is you who is logging behind your prosperity. Once you bring your eggs here, 1, we put the markers of the initial names of yours. Why do we put this? It is because this incubator here, it accommodates 12,000 eggs. Here, as you see it here, it accommodates 12,000 eggs. And these eggs are not for only one person. Whoever is viewing, once you have these eggs, don't give your eggs to the hens to incubate. The 21 days of incubation, once you bring them, they will be hatching when these hens have laid for 2 weeks. We are going to pass through all this. Arrival is here. We screen them, put the markers of the individual farmers, bring them here. For 18 days, we take them here for candling. This bulb is for candling. What do we mean by candling? This is how we know the fertilized eggs and unfertilized eggs. The egg which is transparent, it is infertile after 18 days over here. And which light doesn't pass through, that means that egg was fertilized. Then from here, we put them to the hatcher for more 3 days, because an egg takes 21 days to hatch. Incubation, 18 days. Here, making the screening of the fertilized and unfertilized. From here, the 3rd step is the hatcher, where we hatch these chicks. Then from the hatchery there, still we screen Those ones which we call the unhatched, as you see them here. These are the unhatched eggs. Reason is being 3 in 1. The first one, the feeds. If there was too much calcium, they will not hatch. 2, if they had some disease like a typhoid, such that the laid eggs were infected, they will not hatch. 3, the storage and the handling, it is very important. We want you to start being your veterinary officer yourself. 2, become a CEO of yourself into poultry as the broad enterprise, which can be managed by even a kid of 4 years. These are the unhatched. These ones here are the infertile. So the cakes you always eat at 500 are picked from here. Please don't be disappointed. But the cakes of 500, this is where we give them. So our viewers, once these old chicks are hatched, are vaccinated against Marex disease at day 1 with me, Luigare, Isa Luigare. If it comes to asking questions, what you will need to do, we are in the new tax park at the 3rd floor, Katale stage. When you come there, consultation is totally free of charge. Let me thank whoever is viewing now. As I had promised you before, that today we are going to handle the hatching processes. Then the next episode, we are going to see how do we handle what we call the brooding system. From the hatching, we are going to handle the brooding system. Then from the brooding system, we are going to handle the feeds and the feeding. How do we mix these feeds of all stages, 1 day old to 2 months? That's chicken duck. 2 months to laying stage, that's grower's mash. See, they're still laying. If they have started laying, we see what do we call or what do we mean by the layer's mash. We are going to pass all through those issues and stages, and how to identify the fake feeds and the genuine feeds. I thank the producer. I thank whoever is viewing, because what we need to do, it is our responsibility and role to ensure that our entire community, whoever is viewing, can fight poverty and create jobs and stop lamenting, talking about poverty. There is no poverty in Uganda, like it or not. If I ask you who is viewing now, at my home with my team, we have 4 holidays in a week, public holidays in a week. On Monday, we eat chicken. On Wednesday, we eat goat meat. On Friday, we eat fish. And Sunday, rabbits. Whatever I'm talking about, we are going to see and pass through all of those ones. The next episode, once we cover what poultry management is passed through, we are going into fish farming. Then from there, goat keeping or rearing. Then from there, we saw the rabbitry. But this time, we are going to go into piggery section in spite of being a Muslim. We are going to pass through that, such that you know who is lamenting about poverty and who brought this poverty. It is you who is viewing me now. Luigare are my names. I thank whoever is viewing. Wait for the next episode as we proceed on.